Hey guys, this is Jung. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk about a couple of things. Number one, I want to talk about why I purchased this 2021 Subaru STI. Number two, I want to talk about my buying experience with, my selling experience with CarMax. And number three, I want to talk about how much I paid for this car. So with that being said, let's get started with today's video. And one thing before we get started with today's video, there are going to be a lot of things that we talk about. So if you don't want to listen to a specific section, I'll have the timestamps for each section listed down in the description. So feel free to just skip forward if you're only interested in one part of it. So all of these things that I just mentioned, they kind of tie into one story. So I'm going to try and tell this story as best and as clear as I can. So the reason why I bought this car, the short answer to that is because I could, right? So more specifically, if you've been following my channel since the beginning of this year, you know that I've really wanted this car for a while now, even back to the 2020 model. And unfortunately, it was just something that at the time was not in my best interest. Short story, because I was trying to buy a house, right? Fast forward a couple of months, I already bought the house, right? And then I moved into my new place not too long ago. And the other reason why I didn't actually end up buying the STI then is because I didn't want to sell my old SI at that big of a loss at the time that I was looking to maybe trade it in. So now that it's been a couple of months since then, just out of curiosity, I went back online and see what Carvana and CarMax would offer. And this is what really got me, because CarMax was offering a ridiculous amount, like thousands of dollars more than Carvana was. So I figured to myself, wow, like this is a great opportunity, because the offer that CarMax was giving is more than the sales price of what I paid for the car. Now obviously there is sales tax and everything like that included as well, but at the end of the day, it made a lot of sense for me because I wasn't losing that much money by selling the SI at that price point, right? And so I sold the SI, and then I ended up purchasing this. Now I wanted this car for a lot of reasons, just because overall I think it's a much more enjoyable driving experience, and to be quite honest, there's nothing like this on the market today. The closest thing that you can probably get to this is probably maybe a Honda Civic Type R. And don't get me wrong, that's a good car, but that's not what I wanted. I wanted this because I don't think there's ever going to be anything like this ever again. And it's just, I think it's a very special car, right? Say what you want, but when the new STI comes out, whenever it comes out, yes, it's going to be faster. It's going to perform better on the track probably, but just overall how it feels, is it still going to have that old school turbocharged engine feel, or is it going to have that same feel of the hydraulic steering rack? And these are some things that I really considered, and we know that this exists now, So I wanted to jump on it while I could. As far as my selling experience to CarMax goes, I would say overall it went pretty well. So I got my first quote online. I put the license plate of my SI, the state, the mileage, the condition, whether it's been in any accidents, all of these things that they asked for, and the number that they gave for my 2020 SI with 11,600 miles was $25,000 and $25,800, right? And again, like I said, this is more than the MSRP price of the car. I believe the sales price that I bought it for ended up being exactly $25,000 for the SI, right? And so all of that being combined, since I lost so little money on it, it was a really tempting offer to, you know, sell that to CarMax and pick this up. And so I did. And so once I got that quote from CarMax online, I went in and I gave them the quote number, and they verified all the details in person, and they gave me a final offer sheet, right? So on that offer sheet, it was the exact same as they offered online. So I think when you're filling it out online, as long as you're honest about the miles and the condition of your car, you will get exactly what they said they would give you. And so once I got that final offer, I left the car at the dealership and had my friend drive me back to the Subaru dealership to try and work out the deal, because I wanted to make sure that I could buy the Subaru at the price that I was looking for. Otherwise, none of this would happen, right? So on that day, there was a lot of things that needed to happen, and I made sure that I wouldn't be locked into, you know, going forward with this, because, you know, let's say for example, if I sold my SI on the spot to CarMax, and then I went to the dealership, but they weren't gonna give me the price that I was looking for, well then I'm kind of stuck with paying that dealer's price, because I already sold the car to CarMax and this is my only car, right? So I made sure that I was protected at all steps of the way, and that ultimately this purchase would only happen if everything worked out for me, which it did. And so I went, once I got the price from the dealer, the Subaru dealer that I wanted for this car, then I went back to CarMax and I handed them the offer and I said, here's the title, you know, let's make this, I'm gonna sell you my car. And so that took about an hour, like the paperwork and such. Sorry about the change in location. The previous spot was blown up, so I had to move. But anyways, CarMax gave me $25,800 for the SI, and I took their offer. And so basically when I got there, they just verified the condition and the mileage that I had initially written down online. And once they gave me the final offer sheet and I decided to go through with it, it took about an hour for them to finalize everything and get the paperwork and my check for the car. Now remember, the SI was already paid off and I had a title in hand, so the full amount of the check was going to me. And so basically when they had everything ready, I signed over the title and a couple of other documents, and that was the end of that. And so I had that money put toward this car, and now I was able to purchase the STI in cash as well. And so and now the part that probably a lot of you are wondering, how much did I pay for this brand new 2021 Subaru WRX STI? I will say that this is a base model, and it has the short throw shifter kit as well as the STI shift knob. It has a couple of other smaller options like the compass home link and the rear bumper application and whatnot, the cargo tray. So all of that together came out to an MSRP of, I believe it was $39,400. And the actual sales price I had ended up getting it for was $35,400. So I got a little bit over a $4,000 discount off of MSRP, and that is how much I paid for this car. And I'm not going to talk about the total out the door, just because that number will differ from wherever you are, because you know the dealer fees and the tax and the registration costs are all going to vary. So I just want to talk about the sales price, and so that was it. $35,400 was the sales price on this. And to be quite honest, I think it's a pretty good deal, and I'm really happy with the numbers that we were able to work out. And I think that's all I want to say for this video. Let me know if you guys have any questions, and I will answer them down in the comments below. As always, thanks for checking in and checking out this video, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.